Okay, now that we have a clear understanding of what a democracy is, let's dig a little bit deeper. Did you, for instance, know that there are different types of democracies? Direct democracy, for example. This is a system that empowers citizens to participate directly in decision-making processes. So, instead of electing political representatives to make choices on their behalf, citizens in a direct democracy have the authority to vote on specific policies and laws, shaping the course of their nation. Then there's a representative democracy. Here, citizens elect representatives to act on their behalf. These representatives form governments, and these governments implement laws based on the will of the people. This makes them accountable to those who elected them into power. Most modern democracies operate under this system. Another form is a constitutional democracy that ensures that the powers of government are defined and regulated by a constitution. This form of democracy protects the rights of all individuals and groups while promoting good governance, accountability, and the rule of law. Lastly, we have what is called a parliamentary democracy. In this form of government, the balance of power is held between the executive and the legislature, or parliament. In other words, the part of the government that decides how things are run is accountable to the legislature, the part of the government that has the power to write and change and repeal laws. The United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, India, and many other countries operate under this form of democracy. On top of these different forms of democracy, there are also two main types of electoral systems. An electoral system defines how votes are translated into elected representatives. The first is the constituency-based system, and the second is proportional representation. In constituency-based systems, voters in a defined area elect an individual candidate. The candidate who receives at least 50% of the votes, plus one vote, in each constituency becomes a member of parliament. Proportional representation, on the other hand, focuses on voting for political parties, not individual candidates. Eligible voters in a larger area, such as a whole country or a whole province, vote for political parties. Once the votes have been counted, each party is allocated a number of seats in proportion to the percentage of votes that they received. This ensures that the parliament, the council, or the legislative body reflects the overall share of the votes won by each political party. In constituency-based systems, individual MPs hold their seats as individuals. The seats are not held by political parties. MPs are free to cross the floor and join another party whilst retaining their seat in Parliament. In proportional representation systems, however, it is political parties that hold the seats. MPs are chosen from party lists and they are bound by party discipline. They cannot cross the floor without consequences. And if their political party dismisses them, they lose their seat in Parliament. So, where does South Africa's democracy fit into this picture? Well, South Africa has a constitutional democracy with elements of both representative and parliamentary systems. This means that our government is formed by the political party that wins the majority of seats in the national or provincial election to Parliament. This gives the majority party the right to form the government. South Africa's constitution outlines that the winning party has the right to govern the country for 5 years. Parliament elects the president after an election, and the president forms the government by appointing the deputy president and the cabinet, who together are responsible for policy making and governance. If you want to know more, course number 2 goes into greater detail about this. Since our first democratic elections in 1994, national and provincial elections have used proportional representation and party lists, allowing for diverse representation and ideological viewpoints. In the case of local government elections, citizens elect their representatives using a mixture of proportional and constituency-based representation.